Good morning and happy Monday. Or at least this video is meant to go out on a Monday, but if you're watching it another day, good morning and happy other day. When I was younger, the Democrats seemed to be the more moral of the two parties. They were against war, against censorship, against book burning. And the right was, against rap music, against video games, against freedom of expression. But now, things seem to have flip-flopped. And that is exactly what we're going to explore in this video. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to explore a different and new political paradigm. Let's get into it. Now, don't get me wrong, this is by no means a Republicans good, Democrats bad video. I believe all politicians are cut out of the same cloth. None of them are good. All of them are, animal excrement. However, I do believe that the young Democrats of today are taking on some of the worst priorities of the old Republicans of yesterday. Let me explain. I suppose the easiest and most concrete example I can show you guys is video games. Remember back in the day when the Republicans used to think that video games are going to corrupt the minds of our children? Let me refresh your memories with a little Bill O'Reilly action.
As I said from the very beginning, 20-year-old Adam Lanza, the man who killed 20 children and 7 adults in Newtown last week, was an angry, alienated guy, and he may have been addicted to video games. Now, how did I know that? One look at the guy. CNN reporting that people who knew Lanza say he was a compulsive game player. In his basement, that's what he did. Joining us now from Columbus, Ohio, Dr. Brad Bushman, who teaches at Ohio State and has studied the violent video game culture. What's the most important thing you learned about the culture, Professor?
Well, I've been studying violent media effects for over 25 years and have conducted over 50 studies. And we recently conducted a comprehensive review of all studies. There are 381 of them involving over 130,000 participants. And these studies show that violent video games increase aggressive thoughts, they increase angry feelings, they increase physiological arousal such as heart rate and blood.
They increase angry feelings? First of all, no. Second of all, learn to speak better. Third of all, that's nonsense. And I know this is anecdotal, but for example, when I've had a long, stressful week or day, at the end of the day, I like to go on Verdansk and kill a bunch of people in a video game. Call of Duty, Warzone. Does that mean that I'm getting more angry feelings? No, it's the other way around. It's a de-stressor. It relaxes me. And then I can go to sleep peacefully after killing a whole bunch of people. Today, however, things are different. It's the Democrats who are trying to ban video games. For example, in Illinois, they're trying to ban GTA because they see an uptick in carjackings and they think it's linked to young people playing Grand Theft Auto. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. The uptick in crime is, directly linked to your horrible policies, but that's for another video. Wanting to ban video games is part of a larger issue, censorship. And again, it used to be the Republican Party who was pro-censorship in a way. They wanted to ban books, they wanted to ban video games that corrupted the mind of the children. But now, it's the left who are banning books. It's the left who are banning documentaries. It's the left who are canceling authors. In the last few weeks, Dr. Seuss lost 6 books, banned. Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, documentary, banned. When Sally Became Harry, a book on Amazon, banned. All because the left thought it was offensive or hate speech. Another wonderful, if not the best example on how the parties have switched, at least culturally, is Tom MacDonald. Who would have thought that Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire, a conservative news outlet, would introduce me to my new favorite gangster rapper? I could have never imagined, yet it happened. Actually, hold on. I gotta read you parts of this article. From the Daily Wire, exclusive. The anti-woke rapper topping the charts and shocking the music industry. Look at this face. It doesn't look like someone that I would like, but my mama told me not to judge people. When I listened to this guy's music, and my mind was blown. Rapper Tom MacDonald's father took his son aside after they released the first of many controversial songs. You may be a rapper, but what you're doing right now is rock and roll. It's more about the truth and less about the music, MacDonald recalls of his father's advice. Tracks like Fake Woke, Clown World, and Cancelled pack so much truth into their bombastic melodies, they made MacDonald more than just a rapper on the rise. He's a music revolutionary. I 100,550 million% agree. We'll get to it later. Sound hyperbolic? What other musician in rap or any other genre stares down cancel culture with such precision? The list of subversive musicians daring to question media narratives on race, identity politics, and more is microscopically small, and no one does it better or bolder than MacDonald. His songs crackle with rage and regret, spiked by humor and self-reflection. Plus, there's unifying theme to some numbers as element of his music conventionally overlooked by his detractors. So go ahead and hate the racist. I pray for their extinction. If you want to hate the white people, just make a distinction between the ones who want the best for everyone regardless and the ones who build the system just to smother you with hardship. His lyrics are so good, and I'm gonna make a little video series going over his songs because they are truly amazing, and I want to show them to you and go over it. And some lines hit so hard, so the bars, god damn, the guy is so good. The Daily Wire brought him to my attention, and even crazier is that Fox News interviewed him. Check this out.
Rapper Tom MacDonald rails against cancel culture and censorship in his new song titled Fake Woke, and his message has been heard by millions.
We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, because you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. As children, we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now. The planet went crazy.
Now, McDonald's anti-censorship
goes so
anthem
hard.
has racked up over 2.5 million views on YouTube since it was released just 4 days ago. More impressively, it's currently the #1 most downloaded song on iTunes, beating out this year's Super Bowl performer The Weeknd and Grammy winner Ed Sheeran. McDonald believes his music is popular because he is willing to scream what others would never say out loud.
This song was just about screaming my truth at the top of my lungs, and sort of there's this performative wokeness that's going on in society today, and I think it was just important to point some fingers at the hypocrisy. And
I'm so thankful for this guy because in some of his songs, which I'll get to in future videos, he's able to articulate things that I feel and I think, but I can't articulate myself. This guy's a poet and a philosopher, a scholar.
The way that the world is changing, not for the better.
Now, the 32-year-old is no stranger to tackling hot-button issues in a track released last year titled People Are Stupid. He made his feelings on abortion clear, wondering why some don't consider a heartbeat a sign of life.
Let's talk about abortion. Sorry, tell me how this works. Bacteria is life on Mars, but a heartbeat isn't life on Earth? Weird.
In another song, he discussed Black Lives Matter, calling it a valuable move.
Yeah, that was a good line. I'm not going to get into the A word because YouTube doesn't like it, but that's a good goddamn line. Promoted by Fox News and the Daily Wire, and the mainstream media wants this guy canceled. Incredible how the tables have turned.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
I still find it crazy that Ben Shapiro, this guy...
Well, they want to take away certain types of guns, obviously.
They want to take away assault weapons, which are capable with magazines like we saw at Aurora and Sandy Hook of unleashing a ridiculous amount of bullets.
Well, this is a question I wanted to ask you, Piers, because I've seen you talk about assault weapons a lot, and I've seen Mark Kelly talk about assault weapons. The vast majority of murders in this country that are committed with guns are not committed with assault weapons, they're committed with handguns.
Okay,
so are you willing to ban handguns in this country across the country?
No, that's not what I'm asking for.
Why not?
Let me ask you.
Don't you care about the kids who are being killed in Chicago as much as the kids in Sandy Hook?
Yes, I do.
Then why don't you care about banning the handguns in Chicago?
We'll come to that.
Introduced me to Tom MacDonald, this guy.
Because you're mad and weak. Go ahead and tell the world I'm ugly and racist. I braid my hair and I don't care about cultural appropriation. I moved to the ghetto, lived in the ghetto, there's no Caucasians. And still I loved every single one of my neighbors. How's a man say I'm clickbait if he gonna use this face to get clicks on his page? Y'all hypocrites are made. But I ain't tripping about these bullies, it ain't 6th grade. Go ahead and diss me trying to sell a couple mixtapes. I'm not afraid, take my face and my name, paste it on the front page. I'm already famous and you'll never change it by hating or claiming you'll take it away. My grind wicked, write my rhymes different. You can try to quantify, define limits as a dying gimmick and denying winning. This is pure fire, this ain't white privilege.
I will be covering his music in the future because it's just too good. You need to hear it. The message needs to be spread, and that guy needs to be super famous. Anyway, it's not just in cultural things that it appears like the parties have switched. Now it seems like the Democratic Party is the party of intervention and war, the party of the military-industrial complex, Now, the Democrats are asking for the National Guard to remain in the sea until at least the fall of 2021 because domestic terrorism. The problem with these people is that they see domestic terrorism, sexism, racism, and white supremacy wherever they look. Cartoons aren't safe anymore. The little skunk from Looney Tunes is getting canceled now for rape culture. Trump wanted to withdraw troops from the Middle East. But now what do we see with Biden? More troops going into Syria. That's only in the first few weeks. Then we had the Syria bombing, and the media had this wonderful headline. Second Syrian strike canceled because women and children spotted. It's almost as if the media and the administration are colluding and they're playing together. It's like the mainstream media is the PR piece of the Biden administration. Like they're giving this guy flowers from not bombing Syria a second time because children and women. Oh, this guy is so compassionate. He saw women and children and he called off the strike. Oh, what a great guy, Uncle Joe. We also have leftist institutions like the New York Times arguing against private messaging apps, saying that, oh, they are dangerous. People can spread misinformation. In reality, they're just worried that people don't need them anymore. I'm not going to read you the whole article, but I want to read you this part because it shows you how elitist these people are. From the New York Times, are private messaging apps the next misinformation hotspot? Telegram and Signal, the encrypted services that keep conversations confidential, are increasingly popular. Our tech columnists discuss whether this could get ugly. Encrypted messaging apps, which protect the privacy of online conversations, were once special tools used primarily by people working in professions where confidentiality was prized, like law, journalism, and politics. You see how they include themselves? Journalism? They should be able to use it, but not you. You're a pleb. You're a peasant. You shouldn't be trusted with encryption. How dare you? So while you have Democratic politicians and Democratic institutions like the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, and Democrats politicians like AOC, The Squad, Pelosi, Schumer, Biden, Kamala Harris, and all those arguing for more censorship, arguing for you to lose your rights, arguing to ban video games, arguing to ban private messaging apps. And on the other hand, you got Tucker Carlson from Fox News, you got Governor Ron DeSantis from Florida, my governor. There's Republicans arguing for freedom of expression, freedom of speech, arguing for people to be able to play Grand Theft Auto and promoting rappers like Tom MacDonald. Ladies, we have switched. We have switched. And I know this is super anecdotal, but I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Sure, I was just out of college, blah, blah, blah. But in 2020, I voted for Donald Trump because I no longer could identify with the Democratic Party's values, critical theory, identity politics, equity. That's racist. That's nonsense. And the Republican Party are about free speech. Let me do what I want to do. Sure, they got their things. I don't identify as Republican. If I had to choose with a gun to my head, I'd be a libertarian. And those guys got their problems too. But what I'm saying here is something's happened. Something switched. And that's it. Comment your opinions down below. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm right? Did you make any switches in the last few years? Let me know. Follow me on BitChute and Twitter. Like, comment. Even if you don't like, comment, you fucking redhead. Something like that. It helps. It doesn't matter. Thank you for watching. See you next time.